Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 16 of Moestories. And I do only have just two stories to tell you today. They happened in the 90s. I think the first stories happened in around 1993, and then the next story after that it happened in maybe 97, 98 somewhere. I would say so. Now, the stories are not necessarily happy ones or good positive ones, but they are interesting and it's worth telling because again it kind of displays my certain ways I feel about things. The more stories that I tell you, the more you can get to know who I am and why I am the way I am, and and that I don't hold grudges really and stuff. Okay, the first story, and it's an interesting story. Yeah. Okay, it was when I started going out with my. No, actually, the story may have happened around 1990. Actually, 1990 or 1991. Now, I it was my first real girlfriend. I had dated a couple of girls here and there, but this one I was actually going out with, and I considered her my actual first girlfriend. I'm not gonna name her name. I'm not gonna say who it is, 'cause I want to protect her anonymity. But I'm pretty sure we had been going out for at least a good 6 months when this occurrence happened. I was working at a fish and chips restaurant in Moncton here called Deluxe Fish and Chips. It's a bit of a franchise, and I had been there at least maybe almost about as long as I was going out with my girlfriend. Now it was it was one of those weeks, okay, where I had three shifts in a row where I was working like long shifts, at least a good between 8 to 10 hours, because they needed the help, and it was 3 days in a row. It was during what was it? I think it was during the East. Yeah, it was during Easter, I think, or Thanksgiving, or no, it was Easter. Yeah, it was the Easter weekend coming up, and and as you know, certain people who are into that religion, certain religion, and that they won't eat meat. They'll prefer to eat fish and that. So during that holiday, which I still can't remember exactly what the holiday was, but I remember that it was that they wouldn't eat meat on that Friday, and yeah, they would come and eat fish because they were allowed to eat fish. So and that was our busiest day of the year. Now for those 3 days, okay, that first day was pretty grueling, but I had been drinking coffee that first day just to get the energy, and I love coffee. I mean, I love the taste of coffee and that, but coffee makes me too jittery and gets I get too a little just a little anxious and stuff, and then I don't sleep that well that night. So after that first night of having that long shift, I didn't sleep that night at all. So I had gone to work the next day, and trying to keep my energy up, drank more coffee the second day. I worked that whole long shift, between 8 to 10 hours for sure, and then I that second night I didn't sleep again. Like I had a hard time sleeping. I may have only slept for maybe an hour and a half that night. And then the next day, I didn't drink any coffee that third day, but it was during I'm pretty sure it was Easter, and it was super busy, busy, and I was basically on the fryers. I wasn't the cashier. I wasn't doing the food in the bag. All I was doing was making the fish and the chips. The fries and the it was codfish, and they usually pieces were about so big, and yeah, and you have the potato, the fry maker. You All the potatoes were already peeled in bags, and all you got to do is just take the potato, put it into the machine, and you had a handle, and it pushed the potato through like a fry maker, basically, and then you do your pre you had your pre-cooked, and you had then your fries, and then you had your fish, and yeah, it was an ordeal. It was a grinding ordeal. But the point is that for 3 days straight, I had been pretty much awake, like awake and working, and like, so at the end of that third day, I was super tired, like super tired, but my brain was buzzing, 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 and I knew I needed sleep. And then my girlfriend, okay, her place was just the next street over, like within not even 30-second walking distance to from the restaurant. So, like, after those 3 days, I went over to her place and said, and I was begging her, please, 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 can you give me anything? Tylenol, Gravol, it doesn't matter. Anything that's going to help me sleep, because I need to sleep. I've been up for 3 days straight. I've been working really, like, I mean, I liked the job. It was a decent job. It was my first real job, and it paid my rent and everything. But I was begging her, please give me anything to help me sleep. And she had not seen me in a couple those 3 days, 3 or 4 days, and she missed me, and she wanted to spend time with me. She was kind of begging me to stay up and play Scrabble with her, to do like anything to spend time with her. But I was begging her, please, you gotta give me something to help me sleep. I need to sleep. I'm exhausted, but I'm not gonna be able to sleep like that. I probably would have if I just would have laid down and tried. I probably would have been like, once my brain rested, I probably would have slept. But yeah, I was like, I needed to sleep, and I didn't think I was going to sleep. But anyway, she said, okay, 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 wait, wait, wait. She goes into her mother's room, and she brings me out these couple of pills and that, and I thought, okay, there must be sleep aids. I trusted her. I thought, okay, she's gonna give me a sleep aid and help me sleep. She finally coming to her senses and realization, because I wasn't able to concentrate on Scrabble. I tried playing it for maybe not even a minute and a half or 2 minutes, and there was no way I could concentrate. I needed sleep. So she goes into her mom's room, gets me the pills, and I take them, not knowing what's going to happen. But I swear, not even 10 minutes later, when the pills started taking effect, my heart starts beating faster and more, and then it's like, I should have thrown it up at that moment, and I was like, "What did you give me?" Because I'm feeling even more like stressed out and buzzed up. She goes, "Oh, I gave you some basically what they call bennies, or like speed, in a way, like wake up pills." Because she wanted to spend time with me rather than help me do what I needed to do, which is go to sleep. Yeah, that didn't help. That, like, okay, within 20 minutes, every muscle in my body was tensing up, tensing up, tensing up, tensing up more and more, and I was in agony, and I was like, and my heart was just beating, 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 faster, 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 faster. I couldn't do anything. I couldn't even. I was basically almost paralyzed. Because I was lying down on the couch, just kind of like in agony. Her parents weren't home because she kind of lived with her parents at the time, and yeah, like, she didn't know what to do. All she could do is just kind of sit there and watch. You know, she should have called somebody. She could have called an ambulance. She could have called her parent. You know, try to do something. But no, all she did was just sit there and watch for at least a good hour, an hour straight. I was just in agony, just like trying to deal with this, like you know, pain. I was in the weirdest pain. I thought for sure, I was going to take a heart attack. Now, mind you, I was like between the age of 20 and 21, 22, around there somewhere, and yeah, I was in sheer agony. Like, and eventually, I think I passed out and just kind of like it subsided just enough to like it was just too much, and I passed out, and I think I slept for like at least a day, 24 hours straight, that I pretty much wasted my the next day, because the next day was supposed to be my day off, but I pretty much almost slept through that whole day. I didn't even get the chance to enjoy it like I wanted to. I was not happy with her. I should have broken up with her at that moment, at that time, but I kind of stuck her around, but I didn't talk to her. Like, I barely talked to her for at least a good 2 weeks, and she was so like trying to make it up to me, like buying me this and buying me that, but it didn't matter because I was still really like angry with her. But you know, I don't know why I still kept her around after that. I like it really like yeah. I mean, I'm not going to tell you this part of the story, but eventually she made it up to me where we went for a drive, and yeah, she performed on me. I'm not going to mention what that was, but after that, I was like, okay, now we can talk. But yeah, it was she was an interesting girl, this one. You know, I remember still another part, like another thing, like later on, we were taking a trip to up to Miramichi, up like north and that, and going around the traffic circle looking for the right exit, and I kept on pointing to it as we passed it that way, but she wouldn't listen to me. She For almost a good half an hour, we just kept on going round, and she's like, "Where is like you know trying?" She was trying to find that, but every single time that I would point to it, she would just not like she wouldn't trust me for that I actually knew the way, and I was right. I was right the whole time that it's that one, it's that exit right there. But eventually she realized I was right, and then she took it, and yes, we were on the right track. And then as soon as she saw that first sign up the highway that yep, Miramichi up ahead. Yeah, yeah. So, and again, I didn't, I probably should have broken up with her much earlier than that. I mean, there was this one time where we had been broken up, and she okay, this is another little funny story. More than one story, actually. I wasn't expecting to tell, but yeah, memories start coming back. I was still up. I was about to go to bed. It was like 3 o'clock in the morning, and she came home from the she was came over from the club. We had been kind of broken up at the time. She came home from the club, and not far from the club there was a Burger King, but she came over to my place, and then she was like hungry, but she was too drunk to go back out, and she was like, "Oh, you gotta go." I had not been drinking. I was home the whole night. I was like, yeah, I was playing some video games, and I was about to go to bed, and when she came over, and she goes, "Yeah, you gotta go back to Burger King to get me a burger, please, please." All right, so like remember, it's 3 o'clock in the morning. I go to, and this Burger King stayed open all night. Was it Burger King? I'm pretty sure it was a Burger King. But I had gone over to the Burger King because they stayed open all night on the weekend because the club people would come over after the club closed and they would, eat lots of burgers and that. And it was probably one of their busiest times. So I go and I get the burger for her and I'm on my way back and there's no traffic whatsoever on the streets. And didn't so I'm kind of crossing the street like at the lights, and the light was red, and there was this the red stop stop signal. As I'm walking across the street, basically jaywalking at 3 a.m., didn't this cop in uniform and that just kind of pop out of the shadows and try to nab me, like saying, tried to give me a ticket for jaywalking at 3 a.m. in the morning. I was like, no, sincerely, sir, it's 3 o'clock in the morning. There's not a single car on the road. You're not giving me no. I stood up to him. I'm like, you're not giving me a ticket. You think I've been drinking? You think I'm coming from the club? I'm not coming from the club. And I told him, I go, my girlfriend who was at the club had sent me to go get some burgers for her, and no, I am not going to take that ticket. You're not going to give me a ticket. He kind of looked at me like, okay, like he realized that no, I wasn't drinking, I wasn't at the club, that I was right because I would have fought him in court. I would have fought him like whatever. I would have contested that ticket for sure. But no, he let me go. He let me through. Because I think he realized that okay, he's dealing with a drunk girlfriend at his place, so I'm not gonna put more of a burden on him tonight. So yeah, I was able to talk myself out of getting that ticket, thankfully. So yeah, that's kind of how it was with my ex girlfriend at the time, and then yeah, we not long after that, another thing kind of happened, and then I told her some. I don't want to get into this part because it's kind of yeah, but yeah, she wasn't yeah, we just kind of broke up after that. But that's kind of how it was with my first actual girlfriend. I had to put up with some. And what kind of also made us break up really is because of the jealousy in her family. Her, especially her sister. She had a bit of an older sister that was just causing rumors. Okay, another little story, and that's kind of what really made us break up is because her sister was spreading rumors and lies. Again, I was at home the whole day trying to getting by this. Because at the time it was the Nintendo 64, and I was playing pod racing game. Like for Star Wars. I had the gold series, the more expensive one, and I spent the whole day trying to get by that, and and my girlfriend comes over, and she starts saying she thought I was with another girl because her older sister was spreading lies saying that she saw me with this other girl that same day while I was at home, and I had witnesses that said that I was home the whole day. But she didn't believe that. She got mad at me and started scratching up my face. She's actually clawing my face, and like I had scratches on my face. And this was the first and only time I ever punched a woman. I punched her in the face because I'm like, you got to stop scratching me, you know, because I had these claw marks like on both sides of my face. I had to go to work the next day with these marks on my face, And people asking me, well, what happened to you? And I told them, I had to tell them the story. Yeah, my girlfriend's older sister spreading lies about me. She didn't want to believe me. She believed her crazy sister instead. So when I had proof and and test and witnesses that said I was home the whole day. So yeah, that's kind of all those factors, everything like that made us break up. So yeah, that was my first girlfriend and how that kind of turned out. Now I want to, yeah, no, actually, I'm not going to tell you another story right now. I'm going to save my next story for my next episode. I did have another story I wanted to tell you, but I'm already in the 20-minute mark. I mean, this first story about my girl and my ex girlfriend kind of went longer than I was expecting. Uh, as I was telling that first story, more stories kind of came into my head that I remember that I wanted to give you a fuller picture of that relationship and how that went. But yeah, that was, like I said, that was the first and only time I ever, punched a girl. And I didn't punch her that hard, really. It wasn't like a big full on swing. It was just basically a little jab just to kind of like stop it. Stop scratching my face. Because she jumped on me basically and started scratching my face. So that's it for tonight for this story. I'm going to just to say everybody again thank you for all my 80 subscribers. I really appreciate you and hope you enjoyed. I was entertained by this little story that I told today, and I hope to get more subscribers. So yeah, if you're watching my video for the first time and you want to consider subscribing, please watch some of my older videos first. Not necessarily my most CD culture show and tell, but some especially my Moestories. Watch all of those, and if you still want to subscribe, then you're the type of person that I want as a subscriber. You know, it will, yeah, you'll, because it really gives you an idea of who I am and what my personality is. So yeah, I say watch a few of those first before subscribing because I want to earn my subscribers. I don't want to just have a subscriber subscribe and then and say, well, I'm not. I guess I don't agree with his policies and his personality, and they unsubscribe. I don't want people unsubscribing. I want, like I said, I want to earn all my subscribers. So before you do subscribe, watch my old videos and consider giving. Please give a like and comment. I love comments more than anything. I want to hear what people have to say. So again, as always, I'm just gonna leave it here. Please be safe. Take care. I will see you on the flip side. And please, everybody, have a great day, evening, night, wherever you may be. Peace.